The Honorable Audley Shaw, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Her Excellency Maxine Van Steen, Head Delegation of the European Union to Jamaica, Mr. Daniel Best, Director Projects, Department Caribbean Development Bank, Mr. Desmond John, Director Development Corporation, CARIFORUM Directorate, CARICOM Secretariat, Mr. Leo Preville, Program Manager, Single Market and Economy Unit, CARICOM Secretariat, Mr. Miguel Almeida Castillo, Head Private Sector Division, Caribbean Development Bank, Dr. Dwight Ramdon, Executive Director, Bureau of Standards Jamaica, Ms. Simara Howell, Executive Director, Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, Mr. Norman Nair, Vice President, Sales and Promotions, Jamaica Promotions Corporation, government representatives, project beneficiaries, other specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am Navinia Wellington Ford, Manager of the National Certification Body of Jamaica, and I will be your host for this morning's session. Thank you all for joining us as we launch the EPA CSME Standby Facility for Capacity Building project entitled The Expansion of Certification Services by the National Certification Body of Jamaica. Launched last year and managed by the Caribbean Development Bank, the standby facility is a pool of funds in excess of €8 million available to 15 countries. The allocation from the 11th EDF is available to trade-related organizations for the implementation of country-specific activities focused on improving trade, the economy, and lives of citizens. The 15 countries are Antigua and Barbuda, the Bahamas, Barbados, Dominica, the Dominican Republic, Grenada, Guyana, Haiti, Jamaica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Kitts and Nevis, Suriname, and Trinidad and Tobago. Those are the 15 countries that are participating under the standby facility. The facility was born out of a partnership with the EU and several development partners, including CARICOM and CARIFORUM, to exploit opportunities in the trade sector and increase market access in the region and Europe. It is anticipated that the support from the standby facility will deepen the interconnectivity of Caribbean economies, enable greater exploitation of the CSME, and increase access to and the use of regional public goods and their extensive benefits. To share with you the particulars of the project we are launching today and in the context of CDB's vision for the region, I now invite Mr. Daniel Best, Director of Department at the bank, to deliver his welcome and opening remarks. Mr. Best?
The Honorable Audley Shaw, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Jamaica. Her Excellency Marianne Van Steen, Head Delegation of the European Union to Jamaica. Mr. Desmond John, Director, Development Corporation, CARIFORUM Directorate, CARICOM Secretariat. Mr. Leo Preval, Program Manager, Single Market and Economy Unit, CARICOM Secretariat. Mr. Miguel Almeida, Head, Private Sector Division, Caribbean Development Bank. Dr. Dwight Ramdon, Executive Director, Acting Bureau of Standards, Jamaica. Government representatives, project beneficiaries, other specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and welcome to the launch of the first European Union funded standby facility project under the 11th European Development Fund being implemented in Jamaica. The expansion of certification services by the National Certification Body of Jamaica project, which is being managed by the Economic Partnership Agreement and CARICOM Single Market and Economy Standby Facility for capacity building, is the fourth activity launched financed by the EDF. Sincerest appreciation is extended to the European Union and other development partners for the support provided to ensure the startup and implementation of this and other regional standby facility initiatives. Today, as we mark the commencement of the intervention being executed by the Bureau of Standards Jamaica on behalf of its subsidiary, the NCBJ, we are pleased to present an activity which will see the NCBJ obtaining international accreditation by the International Organization for Standardization to certify services in food safety management systems to firms domiciled in the standby facilities 15 beneficiary countries. This country-specific intervention is designed to increase the availability of specialized services for conformity assessment, testing, and certification in the area of food safety. The action will, beyond stimulating intra and extra-regional trade, increase the local and regional availability of specialist technical expertise related to food safety and provide additional economic development opportunities for CARIFORUM entrepreneurs. Following implementation, regional businesses will be able to access cost-effective technical support from NCBJ, while the government of Jamaica further enables the business environment. The bank is therefore pleased to support this project as it complements other interventions in Jamaica informed by our country strategy. This project adds to our cachet as we continue to seek out opportunities to build economic resilience and foster inclusive and sustainable economic growth and development. On this occasion, this is being accomplished with the provision of a €157,552 grant to support and improve private sector development and competitiveness through increased services for micro, small, and medium enterprises in the agro-processing sector by the NCBJ. CDB's agriculture policy and strategy has shaped this project and several ongoing interventions in Jamaica, including the Essex Valley Irrigation Project, financed by the United Kingdom Department for International Development, and the Southern Plains Agricultural Development Project. The Essex Valley Project is valued at £35,515,000 and seeks to, among other things, enhance agricultural productivity and increase food safety standards, while the US $23.1 million Southern Plains Agricultural Development Project, also financed by the Government of the United Kingdom through the CDB-administered United Kingdom Caribbean Infrastructure Partnership Fund, is enhancing agricultural marketing through certified pack houses and facilitating capacity building towards compliance with international food safety management schemes. These activities are part of our efforts to increase competitiveness and agricultural productivity by enabling increased market access. This is being achieved with the provision of the requisite infrastructure to enable efficient agricultural value chains, recognizing its potential to tackle income insecurity. The intent in that regard is to expand businesses' access to new markets and diversify their existing products in order to increase sales and revenue. recognizing the potential impact on male and female-led businesses. Project implementation also focuses on increasing the participation and consideration of women in the sector, which is both relevant and timely. The bank remains steadfast as a multilateral development agency to work to achieve gender equality and empower women and girls in alignment with sustainable development goals and our gender policy and strategy. The deliberate mainstreaming of gender into another highly productive and economically viable sector through this project signals CDB's continued push in the area as we endeavor to create a more inclusive region. Beyond gender, the launch of this project is also signaling the intent of another country to assert itself as a center of excellence in the areas of standards and quality. NCBJ'S accreditation, while expanding services, will also safeguard consumers. It will also accommodate greater market access by entrepreneurs and contribute towards the strengthening of capacity at the NCBJ, which is also a regional public good. It can be a game changer for Jamaican exporters, strengthening Jamaica's compliance with national obligations under 2 World Trade Organization agreements for trade-related standards to protect human health, safety, and the environment. As the bank has focused on building out the capabilities of regional and national bodies to improve the environment for formulating quality-related resources, we have great expectations of this initiative. The facilitation of intra-regional trade is projected as there is significant interest in and demand for the testing and other services being strengthened by CARIFORM countries seeking to export food extra-regionally. Our partnership with the regional standards body, the CARICOM Organization for Regional Standards and Quality, or CROSS-Q, to render assistance to several countries as part of a wider program to provide capacity building support and equipment to enable our export-driven businesses, adds to available regional quality infrastructure. With our assistance, quality assurance is being increasingly provided locally in the response to national needs and priorities. The bank has already responded to these needs through grant support for local laboratories by providing testing for enterprises involved in construction, transportation, and other economic sectors. These services will be increasingly important as countries rebuild their economies post-COVID-19. Today, we are extremely pleased to expand our footprint and support in the area of food safety, with emphasis on gender-related issues and MSME development. We are appreciative of the European Union, the Bureau of Standards Jamaica, and NCBJ, and others for making these efforts a reality. We anticipate nothing less than a stellar, impactful project going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution, Daniel. We will definitely live up to that for this project. The standby facility continues to leverage regional and local opportunities, promoting its benefits and support for greater integration. This is accomplished by forging partnerships with agencies, including the Bureau of Standards Jamaica and the National Certification Body of Jamaica, to provide the local context and perspective and highlight the significance of this project in the work of the program of both entities. I invite Dr. Dwight Ramdon, the Acting Executive Director for the BSJ, to share on the agency's viewpoint. Dr. Ramdon?
Thank you very much. The Honorable Audley Shaw, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Her Excellency Marianne Van Steen, Head Delegation of the European Union to Jamaica, Mr. Desmond John, Director, Development Cooperation, CARIFORUM Directorate, CARICOM Secretariat. Mr. Daniel Best, representative of CDB. Mr. Leo Prevel, Program Manager, Single Market and Economy Unit, CARICOM Secretariat. Mr. Miguel Almeida, Head Private Sector Division, CDB. Ms. Samira Howell, Executive Director, Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association. Mr. Norman Neer, Vice President, JAMPRO. Government representatives, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, special pleasant morning to you. It is my privilege to greet you on behalf of the Chairman of Standards Council, Mr. Philip Armstrong, who regrettably cannot join us. And indeed on behalf of the wider community of the Bureau of Standards Jamaica and the National Certification Body of Jamaica. As a key pillar in what we consider Jamaica's national quality infrastructure, the BSJ continues to avail itself of opportunities to build capacity in order to serve the several sectors of our Jamaican landscape. As one of the leading agencies related to food safety within Jamaica, the BSJ is most appreciative of this technical grant to aid in capacity building. As much as the NCBJ and its officers will initially benefit, in the long run, the real beneficiaries of this grant will be to the food exporters of Jamaica and other countries which make up CARIFORUM. The BSJ strengthens its commitment to supporting the local food safety industry. From its inception, with its focus on food and labeling related standards, the BSJ has demonstrated its intent to ensure Jamaica's adherence to international best practice, to food safety and quality, and ultimately the health of consumers. This grant over the long term will assist many of our local and regional food exporters to equip themselves and access markets which may currently seem unattainable. We know that there are many food safety management systems available, and we know that requirements differ across markets for this reason. The funding is more than welcome. We will be able to determine the food safety management system required by the majority of target markets to which our food processors and distributors will export. There are other benefits to be derived which will augur well for the sector. This generous grant will assist the NCBJ in gaining accreditation to ISO IEC 17065-2012. This is a prerequisite for the NCBJ as it seeks to offer suitable global food safety initiatives, recognized food safety management systems, among other product certification it currently offers. The relationship we have had with CDB and the European Union over these many years is one that we at BSJ appreciate. Through infrastructural development, the gifts of equipment and capacity building, these two bodies have been significant partners with the BSJ in its continuous evolution. We continue to extend our hands towards food processors in general, but through a raft of initiatives, including our client servicing program and several memoranda of understanding, the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises have received our special focus. There is no doubt that as a result of this grant, they too will be in a better position to access the services of NCBJ. This move, we believe, will ultimately lead to improved earnings for our country as food processors move with confidence into major export markets. The Bureau of Standards Jamaica expresses sincere appreciation to the European Union, which has made these funds available, and the CDB for its role in managing the project. We commit to good stewards of this resource and look forward to the successful completion of this very special project. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ramdan, for your invaluable perspective. The NCBJ, we have been working with the industry. We have been working and contributing to enabling environment, right, for our businesses. And we have been doing this for the last 13 years. And our work continue to be impactful, right, as we continue to support the creation of an enabling business environment. So we thank you so much, Dr. Ramdan, for that perspective. We will go right into the showing of the video on the standby facility. Thank you.
A new standby facility, financed by the European Development Fund, EDF, and implemented by the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, is underway. This regional program is designed to substantively improve citizens' lives and livelihoods by enhancing trade. The standby facility targets 15 Caribbean states with €8.75 million in funds. Whether producers or service providers, customers or employees in any sector, we are involved in trade. Trade is at the heart of our economies. It is part of our development DNA. Join us as we explore how the standby facility, the European Union and the CDB are supporting cooperation, the integration of regional economies, and improving our business environment by assisting governments, enterprises, and support entities. The Standby Facility, transforming lives through trade.
Thank you so much. As we continue to focus on an enabling business environment, we take this opportunity now to invite two of the organizations that members will benefit directly from this project. With us today, we have representatives from the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association and the Jamaica Promotions Corporation, JAMPRO. First, I will invite Ms. Samara Howell, Executive Director of JMEA, to bring remarks. Samara?
Thank you, Navinia. The Honorable Audley Shaw, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Her Excellency Marianne Van Steen, Head of the European Union Delegation to Jamaica, Mr. Daniel Best of the CDB, Mr. Desmond John of the CARIFORM Directorate, Mr. Lear Preville of the CARICOM Secretariat, Mr. Miguel Almeida of the CDB, Dr. Dwight Ramdan, Acting Executive Director of the BSJ, Mr. Norman Nair, Vice President of JAMPRO, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am pleased to be here with you today at this launch representing the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association. I bring you warm greetings on behalf of our President, Mr. Richard Pandui. Today marks another significant milestone for the team at the NCBJ as they unveil the Food Safety Management System Expansion Project supported by the Standby Facility. This initiative comes at a critical time as businesses are being encouraged to start the preparation to shift from pandemic survival to recovery. Indeed, it shows resolve and commitment on the part of the NCBJ in continuing the work of boosting Jamaica's quality infrastructure, even in periods of difficulty and uncertainty. Ensuring the safety and quality of our local food supply for both the domestic and export markets will always be critical. As an association with over 30% of its members operating within the food and beverage industry, the JMEA understands the value of investment in mechanisms and processes that preserve the integrity of the production space and the end product created. This is essential in maintaining consumer confidence as manufacturers work to provide the best and safest product and service offering possible. At the core of the JMEA is our mission to support our local manufacturers in producing local and exporting global. We therefore welcome this project as the NCBJ seeks to foster the creation of an enabling institutional environment to support the agriculture and agribusiness sectors across Jamaica and the region. Through this project, the NCBJ will now have the added advantage of strengthening the capacity of its national quality infrastructure to provide accredited food safety management system certification, which will ultimately elevate the competency levels of food safety experts in Jamaica to international standards. Our industry can only stand to benefit. From the program being launched today, we believe there are significant benefits to be gained, specifically boosting the export capacity of our MSMEs through the provision of increased market access and opportunities, increasing the ability of our local manufacturers to compete globally, reducing the cost of doing business through certification, and of course, increased job opportunities within the food safety and management field. The NCBJ, through its certification management systems, has blazed the trail of excellence, contributing to the growth of many companies and critical subsectors within the productive space. The JMEA believes that this project will create avenues for improved business opportunities for our members as we seek to diversify our economy, boost the agro-processing industry, and develop more value-added products. Once again, on behalf of the JMEA, congratulations to the NCBJ on the launch of this project, and a big thank you to our regional and bilateral development partners, the European Union, the CDB, CARICOM, and the CARIFORM Standby Facility that have made this all possible today. We look forward to the implementation of this project and will offer support wherever possible. Thank you.
Sincerest thanks, Ms. Howell, for those words. We are pleased to have the JME here today representing the private sector interest. Thank you for the support, and we look forward to offering this certification to the members of the association. Equally important to our success are our trade facilitators. The Jamaica Promotions Corporation, JAMPRO, is one such partner organization. Mr. Nar, Vice President of Sales and Promotions, will now bring remarks on behalf of JAMPRO membership as it relates to the project's potential impact. Mr. Nar?
Thank you, Navina. All protocols observed. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First, let me take this opportunity to commend the National Certification Body of Jamaica for undertaking this initiative to strengthen its scope of operation by introducing the ISO 2018 Food Safety Management System, FSMS, and for inviting JAMPRO to be part of today's program. I want to also recognize the support of the CARIFORM EU Economic Partnership Agreement, the CARICOM Single Market and Economy Standby Facility for Capacity Building Project, and the Caribbean Development Bank towards the introduction of the NCBJ'S Food Safety Management System. In a 2019 report, the World Health Organization shared that almost 1 in 10 persons in the world fall ill after eating contaminated food, and approximately 420,000 deaths on average are recorded each year from food causes. With this kind of impact, the food safety standards should concern everyone. The FSMS standards are applicable to all players within the food supply chain, regardless of size, from field to the consumer, through stages such as processing, packaging, and distribution. Jamaica and its local producers need to play its part in protecting consumers from the risk of foodborne illnesses and other associated health issues. Countries are increasingly insisting that source markets implement stringent food safety system with traceability systems along the full value chain. This is true of our major export markets such as the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. As stated previously, the ISO 22000 is one of the most important certifications in the food and beverage space that addresses food safety standards. The benefits of the ISO 22000 certification have been well documented. And so in our role as promoter of trade, we want to encourage our MSMEs to give serious consideration to adopting the standard to improve the marketability of their products and their overall capacity to respond to the requirements of export markets, as more markets are demanding these systems. JAMPRO welcomes and fully supports the system and its critical role in our food to be safely produced and distributed to our consumers. We will ensure that all new producers and exporters are introduced to the system. Again, JAMPRO congratulates the National Certification Body of Jamaica for undertaking this very important initiative, the Food Safety Management System Expansion Project, and pledge our support through our mandate to ensure its success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nar. Sincerest appreciation. It's a pleasure having JAMPRO here today with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we are surely working to transform lives through trade in Jamaica and across the region. In his remarks earlier, Daniel mentioned the various partners who are critical to the success of this project and more generally, the work of the standby facility. CARICOM is one such agency. I now invite Mr. Leo Preville, Program Manager for the CSME unit, to share the perspective of CARICOM. Mr. Preville is representing the Secretariat of the Caribbean Community. Mr. Preville?
Good morning, and thank you very much, Madam Moderator, for your words of welcome. The Honorable Audley Shaw, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce of Jamaica, Ambassador Marianne Van Steen, Head Delegation of the European Union to Jamaica, Mr. Desmond John, Director, Development Cooperation, CARIFORUM Directorate at the Caribbean Community CARICOM, Mr. Daniel Best, Director, Projects Department, Caribbean Development Bank, Mr. Miguel Almeida, Head Private Sector Division, Caribbean Development Bank, Mr. Dwight Random, Acting Executive Director of the Bureau of Standards of Jamaica, and representatives of Bureau of JAMPRO and the export entity of Jamaica, development partners, government representatives, private sector beneficiaries, other specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you. It gives me great pleasure to once again, on behalf of the Secretary General of the Caribbean Community CARICOM, Ambassador Erwin LaRocque, deliver brief remarks on the occasion of the launch of yet another project under the CARIFORUM EU EPA and CSME Standby Facility for Capacity Building. This project is one of two that will be implemented in Jamaica, signaling the premium that Jamaica places on the value of international certification and standards as part of its strategy for internationalization of its micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. The capacity to certify food processing entities to international standards that are accepted in their core markets will undoubtedly serve to strengthen the regional quality infrastructure and support exporters establish market presence and ultimately expand market share in both CARIFORUM and external markets. In my presentation at the second launch of a technical assistance project under this facility, I endorsed the comments of fellow speakers who referenced how opportune the time was for activities, the nature of which would serve to build capacity for greater competitiveness of the region's private sector. I once again repeat that point in the context to remind of the journey we started 20 years ago with the signing of the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas to include the CSME. Yes, it was in 2001 that member states signed on to that agreement, and such decisive action was a significant acknowledgement for the need to deepen the integration movement. I further remind that in just 2 years' time, CARICOM will also be celebrating its 50th anniversary of existence, and there is, of course, the key CARIFORUM arrangement, of which several CARICOM member states are included. So I bring this all together by saying our journey must continue to be one of excellence, heralded by capacity building activities, such as what is being launched today, to bring real meaning to integration and to the people of the region. It is my understanding that the project will focus on support to small exporters in the following areas: market needs assessment to determine a selected food safety management system that is in high demand by CARIFORUM food manufacturers and exporters; implementation of activities for the National Certification Body of Jamaica, the NCBJ, to become accredited to provide certification services in the selected food safety management systems to CARIFORUM food manufacturers and exporters; and training and certification of external auditors. These areas of focus are key to surviving as small states faced with a global pandemic that has forced us to review how we trade and ensuring output is of a certain quality accepted by our customers. Trade is an imperative, and pushing the boundaries of market access is even more critical in these unprecedented times and calls for new and improved approaches to production, marketing, and distribution. This is the only solution to emerging from the ongoing health and economic crises affecting the globe, but more so our microeconomies made up of largely micro, small, and medium enterprises. Now, I note in the background document that MSMEs account for about 80% of employment in Jamaica and more than 90% of all enterprises listed on the Jamaica Tax Register. While these are numbers for Jamaica, they reflect to a large extent, the general structure of the private sector of most, if not all, the countries of the Caribbean community and the wider CARIFORUM region. These percentages show just how dependent Jamaica and similar other CARICOM and CARIFORUM states are on a fledgling but dynamic private sector to lead the charge in transforming lives in our region. MSMEs may not have the largesse of multinational corporations in terms of access to research and development and cutting-edge technology or huge marketing budgets, but they possess some unique attributes. They are nimble, are able to produce to meet the demands of niche markets with special tastes, and are able to absorb new approaches and systems in their production processes fairly quickly. And in the Caribbean context, history has shown that despite the odds or against the odds, our people can make changes rapidly in response to changes in global circumstances. The evidence is there in the structural changes that have taken place in a relatively short space of time to shift our economies from systems driven by production of commodities such as sugar or rice or bananas to entities that have embraced and mastered the production of all kinds of services, including manufacturing operations, while continuing production of traditional commodities to a lesser extent in some instances. We have proven that the resilience of our people make us adaptable. What our private sector has requested all along is the creation of a level playing field and the offer of a hand up, not a handout. Hence, this strategy of developing the quality infrastructure in our region to enable our manufacturers to engage in the global marketplace is the hand up that is needed to convert the potential of the trade agreements we have negotiated from market access opportunities on paper to real market presence in the partner countries. The project launched today and its various elements is part of a regional response, giving meaning to our integration journey and the benefits of working together. Even as we develop the infrastructure in Jamaica and other states, there is the inextricable link to the overall response as a region to surviving in these perilous times. Hence, when faced with the inevitable doubt that tends to creep in because the pace of our integration process is sometimes lagging, or when citizens of member states of the Caribbean community doubt the efficacy of our regional grouping, I always remind myself that no member state would have commanded the market attractiveness to cause any of the major markets with which we trade to engage in negotiating individual trade agreements. We are stronger by the fact that we work together. Our private sector has the opportunity to serve as the engine of growth for our individual economies because we are together. Our people have a better chance of improved livelihoods because we work together. It is against this background that I am extremely happy to participate in and be a witness to the launch of a real, meaningful activity that will transform production and food operations in Jamaica. The skills and competence that will be developed will undoubtedly be available to businesses in other member states of the region at reduced cost, thereby making it possible for the region's businesses to benefit from international standards in their production processes. On behalf of the Secretary General, therefore, Ambassador LaRocque, I wish to commend the government of Jamaica for making that important decision to allocate scarce resources for this particular activity. These are critical decisions in times of scarce financial resources and demonstrates confidence by the government of Jamaica in the private sector of its country, and by extension, the region's private sector. I also wish to commend the CDB and CrossQ for working tirelessly, providing the financial and technical assistance in support of the micro, small, and medium enterprises of the region, which the evidence shows is the backbone of the region's private sector. Of course, I wish to place on record our immense gratitude to the European Union for continuing to stand by the region's entrepreneurs on this journey of economic and structural transformation as we build competence to become more resilient. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Breville. We do appreciate those remarks. Indeed, pointed and relevant. Thank you so much, sir. We are pleased to hear from various partner agencies and, more importantly, create an opportunity for greater clarity and understanding of the direct impact of the activities of the standby facility supports. In mentioning key stakeholders, I now invite Mr. Desmond John, Director, Development Corporation, CARICOM Directorate at the CARICOM Secretariat to share some insight on the regional agenda and the importance of this project in that regard. Mr. John?
Thank you very much. The Honorable Audley Shaw, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Her Excellency Marianne Van Steen, Head Delegation of the European Union to Jamaica, Mr. Daniel Best, Director of Projects at the Caribbean Development Bank, Mr. Leo Preville, Program Manager, CSME Unit, Mr. Miguel Almeida Casillas, Head of the Private Sector Division of the CDB, Dr. Dwight Random, Executive Director Acting, the Bureau of Standards of Jamaica, government representatives of Jamaica, representatives of the Jamaican private sector, project beneficiaries, other specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I bring greetings to you from the Secretary General of CARIFORUM and the Director General of CARIFORUM. We are pleased to be associated with the launch of this very important project. The overall objective of our Caribbean integration process is to integrate our regional economies into the world economy. But to do that, our economies must become strong enough. So to strengthen our economies, our Caribbean economies, that would cause us to advance towards integration into the world economy, require that we possess the capacity to effectively undertake all the necessary actions that are needed to achieve that objective. But that's not enough. Our capacity building is critical, is extremely important to facilitate the strengthening of our own integration process, particularly the CARICOM single market and economy. The launch of this project is extremely timely, and it is an important step, albeit a small step, that will allow the Caribbean to achieve that overall objective of integrating our economies into the world economy. So the CARIFORUM Directorate is very pleased again to be associated with this very important project. The launch today will lead to the National Certification Board of Jamaica obtaining accreditation by the International Organization for Standardization to certify services in the food safety management systems to firms that are operating in the standby facilities, 15 member states or beneficiary countries, as was already indicated. But we may ask ourselves, why food? Why food safety? Why this sector? Why have we chosen it? Well, we have to recognize, of course, and we do, that food safety is a quality infrastructure. But we have chosen that sector primarily because of the export potential of Caribbean agriculture and food sector, and its ability to engender economic growth, increase employment, reduce poverty and inequality, and to improve livelihoods, all of which are regional priorities. But unfortunately, that great potential remains untapped because our exporters continue to face challenges in meeting some of the technical requirements of our key markets, UK market, EU market, USA market, such as sanitary and phytosanitary measures and matters of that kind. So this project will bring some level of solution to that problem. Now, from a local perspective, a successful project implementation will provide great potential for Jamaica. And I'm talking about it from a local perspective, to increase its food exports, not just to the CARIFORUM region, but also to the UK, to the EU, and to the USA, which are our traditional markets. To a large extent, because of the Caribbean diaspora in those countries, and because of the market access opportunities offered under the CARIFORUM EU EPA and also the CSN. We are very pleased that this project includes a component of gender. Gender equality is extremely important and remains a key regional priority. And so we are heartened that the project will not only provide training on gender equality analysis and mainstreaming in export certification services, but it will also focus on increasing the participation of women in that sector. And that's a very important consideration. We are all operating within the context of COVID-19. And this project will be implemented during some period of COVID. It means, therefore, that if we are to achieve the objectives of the project, if we are to achieve the results, the outcomes, and the impacts, we have to ensure that the appropriate risk analyses have been done. And so the Directorate is quite happy that those risk analyses have in fact been done, and that JAMPRO will be supportive in the event that there are mitigating measures that will have to be implemented. So I want to really congratulate the CDB for ensuring that this critical risk analysis, which is often omitted in project development, has been prepared in this project. In conclusion, because I want to stick into my 5 minutes, the CARIFORUM Directorate expresses its appreciation to the European Union and to the other partners who have contributed financially to this project. But we must give special kudos to the Caribbean Development Bank, who have been a tried and tested implementing agency of CARIFORUM projects. And we applaud your stewardship of this project. We also would like to commend the National Certification Body of Jamaica, for accepting the responsibility to ensure effective implementation of this very important project. The Directorate is confident of its successful implementation with the expected outcomes and impacts being realized. Once again, the CARIFORUM Directorate firmly associates itself to this project and wishes it all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. John. Thank you for the confidence, and we are committed to delivering on this project. Thank you. The support of the EU, which is financing all standby facility projects, cannot be overemphasized. Ambassador Marianne Van Steen, head delegation of the European Union to Jamaica and a major strategic partner, will now address us. Ambassador?
Thank you very much. Dear Honorable Minister Shaw, it's a real pleasure to see you connected to this event. It shows the commitment and the engagement of the Jamaican government. So thank you very much for being here with us. Then I also have a long list of people, authorities I should salute, but since we have heard them quite a couple of times, I hope you allow me to skip the list and just say good morning to all of you. Also all the people who are present on the various streaming platforms. I'm quite impressed. There seems to be a lot of interest. I see only in this video conference around 90 people connected. So I think that shows that there is indeed a great interest. So yes, it's a great pleasure for me to be here, a big honor at this important launch. It's the 4th project being launched under the current EU-funded standby facility. And first of all, let me please extend my appreciation to the Caribbean Development Bank, to the Bureau of Standards of Jamaica and the National Certification Body of Jamaica for organizing this. We do expect actually that with the execution of this 2-year project, there will indeed, and we very much hope so, enhanced capacity to provide better, more efficient food safety certification services to exporters, because we know how important it is. You can just not get your product on the market without a certificate nowadays. So we hope that with our project, which has an amount of 157,000 euros, which is a bit of a strange number. I calculated it in Jamaican dollars. It's 28 million Jamaican dollars approximately. We very much hope that that will help to improve the market access for food producers through this certification. And as a matter of fact, that it will help to increase exports from to regionals and also to international markets. We would very much hope to receive also products from Jamaica to the European Union, and that all of this ultimately will contribute to the economic growth of Jamaica. And let me say, it's been said by a number of speakers before me that I'm very proud that indeed this project also has this gender focus. Last week we celebrated International Women's Day, but it just does not remain with celebrations and words. We actually are committed in every project that we are financing. At least in a large part of them, we have a specific gender focus. And in this particular project, indeed, as said before, the idea is to provide training and capacity building for gender analysis and mainstreaming. But we really hope that the project will contribute to the empowerment of women as economic actors. So the initiative falls in line with a series of projects supported by the standby facilities funded by the European Union, but managed and implemented by the Caribbean Development Bank. The standby facilities were created to support member states in the effective implementation of the Economic Partnership Agreement and the Caribbean Single Market and Economy. It's not just about effective implementation, it's actually using the opportunities that the agreement offers us. And as you know, the agreement has been in force for 12 years, almost 13 years now. We are doing some assessments, evaluations, and we actually do think that we both could do better to grasp all the opportunities it offers. So that is what it's all about. The standby facilities provide assistance to address a various number of obstacles, impediments to trade, and they may be different in the different countries that are part of the EPA. In general, the EU funds are typically used to equip producers with a solid technical and regulatory toolkit to meet international standards in food safety while improving the capacity of manufacturers to assess new markets. We hope so. The facilities also seek to improve the regulatory environment for business and enhance the customs and trade facilitation processes. Ladies and gentlemen, we can all recognize that more has to be done. I just said it, we can do more to really capitalize on the EPA and to advance in the implementation of the Caribbean single market and economy. And that is indeed why we also from our side continue to provide support for this. As you know, the standby facility forms part of a wider program of support of the European Union. It's a program of about 21 million euro. I have not calculated that one in Jamaican dollars because there are far too many zeros. But it actually demonstrates that there is a real will and determination from the side of the European Union to help to make sure that this agreement can be well used. We're working not only on certification of food products, but also on innovation and intellectual property rights, technical barriers to trade, sanitary, phytosanitary measures, customs and trade facilitation. And the overall objective, as you know, is to contribute to the integration of CARIFORM into the world economy and bolster the effective operation of the EPA. So yes, I'm very pleased that we are launching this project here, and it complements indeed lots of other activities that we have been supporting in the past. Two of which you may remember. One is an important one on technical barriers to trade, and the other one on sanitary and phytosanitary measures. I mean, from the past and other postings I have been, I know that phytosanitary and sanitary and phytosanitary measures is probably one of the biggest stumble blocks in order to make it to the European Union market, but it's extremely important. So we've also been working on that. So yeah, we all have to navigate unprecedented challenges brought on by the impact of COVID, but we do have to continue. We have no other choice. It's important that we continue to deepen the partnerships and that we pursue new strategies that will contribute to the economic sustainability of the region, which is indeed being very challenged like any other region or any other country in the world. So I'm going to close just by reiterating the commitment of the European Union to strengthen, to help you strengthen your own capacities also in Jamaica, but also in other Caribbean states. And we look very much forward to positive results of this project. We're certain that they're not only going to be beneficial to Jamaica, but also to countries in the region. And once again, let me just wish you good luck. I hope a lot of very good results. And thank you very much to the Caribbean Development Bank, to the National, NCBJ, and to the Bureau of Standards of Jamaica to make all of this possible. And I'm wishing you a lot of good luck. Thank you.
Sincerest thanks, Excellency. We do appreciate the sustained support the EU has provided to the standby facility, which has brought us to where we are today. We do appreciate it. And you see good things from the result of this project that the NCBJ has undertaken. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, as you are aware, policy informs our work and set the stage for and direction for national action. The ministry with responsibility for the BSJ and the NCBJ in this regard continues to influence our strategic direction. We are pleased to invite the Honorable Audley Shaw, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, to advance the views of the Government of Jamaica by delivering the feature address. Minister?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mrs. Wellington Ford. Let me say that I should say all protocol observed, but let me just say thanks to everyone, the head of the EU to Jamaica, the CARICOM Secretariat representatives, the Caribbean Development Bank, my good friends, and of course our Jamaican partners. And I want to single out my new permanent secretary, Mrs. Sansia Bennett Templar, who is here with us. There she is. She just joined us a couple of weeks ago. So ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to address the launch of the expansion of certification project by the National Certification Body of Jamaica, NCBJ, which seeks, among other things, to improve the local ecosystem in support of agribusiness growth and improve the capacity of our micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises to export. I'm also pleased to note that this project is the first of two being implemented in Jamaica and financed by the Standby Facility through the CARICOM EU Economic Partnership Agreement and the CARICOM Single Market and Economy Standby Facility for capacity building, with the larger objective of improving regional integration and trade. The expansion of certification project seeks to foster the creation of an enabling institutional environment to support the agriculture and agribusiness export sectors in line with our national export strategy and the National Food Safety Implementation Plan policy. It has been noted time and again that Jamaica must produce its way to prosperity. We can't talk our way to prosperity. We have to produce our way to prosperity. But the fact is, for this to happen, several pieces of the whole must come together. For example, we must improve our quality infrastructure by infusing a culture of quality in all we do, recognizing that Jamaica is challenged to compete globally due to the economies of scale. Differentiating ourselves from the competition based on quality is therefore paramount to our global competitiveness. The national export strategy hinges on the development of brand Jamaica as globally competitive collateral. Another piece is improving the capacity of our MSMEs to leverage the opportunities that arise, especially in the new normal brought on by COVID-19. Strengthening the capacity of the national quality infrastructure to provide accredited food safety management system certification and increasing the competence of food safety practitioners to international standards are among the other pieces of the greater whole of improving Jamaica's global competitiveness. The very vision of the National Export Strategy sees Jamaica as a leading per capita export country known for its commitment to creativity, innovation, and exceptional quality. Can I depart from my text for a moment to mention something to you. A couple months ago, the National Geographic magazine of the United States declared a Jamaican national dish, well, the Jamaican national dish, ackee and saltfish, as one of the 10 best dishes in the world. You heard that? And guess what? I got a call from one of our companies, Grace Kennedy. They export ackees, processed and in cans, but they do not export the finished product of ackee and saltfish. It has now been declared as one of the 10 best dishes in the world. That is now an item for fast tracking as a major product to the world. Back to the script. The recognition of the NCBJ as an internationally approved food safety management system certification. Another objective of the expansion of certification project further positions the agency as an authority on quality and increases its role and scope towards supporting regional trade. We don't have enough regional trade. As a matter of fact, Jamaica has been the main point for the end result of trading from our CARICOM partners. Jamaica has to step up its own exports to CARICOM partners as well. Interestingly, as the project targets MSMEs across agriculture and agribusiness value chain, food manufacturers and food safety practitioners, including auditors, technical experts, among others, the benefits of certification will undoubtedly redound to the growth that we seek. What we will find is increased market access, reduced cost of doing business, as our MSMEs utilize their certified food safety management systems to open doors regionally and navigate regional trade barriers with improved standing in CARICOM. The spin-offs of that are job creation, increased brand visibility for Jamaica as our MSMEs penetrate new markets and deepen their foothold in others armed with certificates confirming that our goods and services are of a high quality and meet international market requirements. These initiatives, ladies and gentlemen, will advance Jamaican companies towards achieving the greater objective of improved competitiveness. And as I close, I want to thank all of our stakeholders for their focused determination to position Jamaica in better stead to leverage global and regional opportunities. And I want to say to you, with this COVID-19 situation, we can still be inspired by the notion that in every crisis, there's an opportunity. In every problem that we identify, there's a seed of greater benefit. Let's find the seed, sow the seed, and nurture it so we can move from poverty to prosperity. God bless you all, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Minister Shaw. We are moving, we are moving. We are encouraged by your sentiments today, and the NCBJ will continue to support the vision you so clearly articulated. Thank you very much, Minister. The private sector division at CDB, led by Mr. Miguel Hamida Casillas, is coordinating and managing the standby facility resources through the Regional Cooperation and Integration Unit. Permit me to introduce Mr. Casillas, who is the final speaker to extend thanks on behalf of the bank for those who have brought the project to fruition. Mr. Casillas, welcome.
Thank you very much, Navini. The Honorable Audley Shaw, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce. Her Excellency Marianne Van Steen, Head of the Delegation of the European Union to Jamaica. Mr. Daniel Best, Director of the Project Department at the Caribbean Development Bank. Mr. Desmond John, Director of Development Cooperation at the CARICOM Directorate and CARICOM Secretariat. Mr. Leo Preville, Program Manager, Single Market and Economy Unit, CARICOM Secretariat. Mr. Dwight Ramdon, Executive Director, Bureau of Standards Jamaica. Government representatives, project beneficiaries, other special invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. The task of acknowledging all contributors falls to me today. As we conclude the launch of the first standby facility project under the 11th EDF being implemented in Jamaica, we extend sincere appreciation to the government represented by the Honorable Audley Shaw. Minister, by giving of your time and sharing so vividly the perspective of your administration, we are assured that there is a recognized and major role for standard-setting bodies within the local business environment. We are pleased, therefore, to support the country's strategic efforts through the EPA and CSME standby facility, building on several other initiatives being implemented in country with regional and international collaboration. Beyond the standby facility, as shared by Director Daniel Best, we continue to partner and build capacity to facilitate private sector growth. As head of the division responsible for private sector development, we are continuously pursuing initiatives intended to transform lives and livelihoods through sustained development. This takes various forms beyond technical assistance and includes, among other activities, investment, climate support, lending, and equity investments. Special thanks are offered to Ambassador Van Steen, who is on the booth at our first launch in Jamaica. And I am happy to share the spotlight with you in this regard, having been recently appointed at the Caribbean Development Bank. As a major development partner, the European Union consistently contributes to the achievement of a shared vision for regional development through deep-rooted collaboration and cooperation to advance economic integration. To Messieurs Preville and Jean, who brought remarks on behalf of their respective agencies, the support of CARICOM and CARIFORUM continues to be a major contributor to our success in these and upcoming standby facility projects. Truth be told, this creation of this facility is testament to your resolute pursuit of your respective mandates to build our regional project. Dr. Ramdon, we appreciate not only your vision for the BSG and the NCBJ, but the talent and resources that you have committed to this launch and the project more generally. We remain steadfast in our support to ensure the goals of the project, establishing NCBJ as a center of excellence, are actualized. Gratitude is also extended to the representative of the JAMPRO, Mr. Norman Nair and Ms. Namara Howell of the Jamaican Manufacturers and Exporters Association, who have publicly expressed their their membership places on this capacity exercise at the NCBJ. Director Daniel Best, we also appreciate your time and the insights shared as CDB continues to support increased competitiveness fueled by the private sector. And finally, to the Regional Cooperation and Integration Unit at the CDB, we are grateful for your efforts, which have led to the formulation of another major project under the standby facility to benefit the Jamaican people. We look forward to the introduction and implementation of additional projects in the future as we aid regional businesses in rising to the challenge of creating good services which can more readily compete based on quality on the international market. Thank you to all.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, specially invited guests, Ambassador, Minister, thank you so much for attending today. We now conclude and bring this program to a close. We extend deep appreciation to you all for joining us today. Stay safe and have a wonderful day. God bless you.